need to store. You need to store your materials. Okay, then you move to the materials should be stored so that they are easy to find, easy to retain, and easy to keep tidy. So the materials should be stored so that they are protected and sustained. Okay, then we move to books. Paper, pencil should not remain in the cabinet when they are needed. They should be used efficiently. So you need to make sure that the pencils, the books, they should not remain in the cupboard when you are in need of them. For example, the pencils, they need to be on learner's desk or learner's table. Uh, this can also make sure that you are not wasting any time. So every learner has his or her own pen before they start even writing. So, yes. Then you move to what? Then you move to the displays. When I talk about displays, those are the pictures, the wall charts, the real objects, and art crafts that are hanged on a wall of the classroom. They can be hanged on a wall or pasted on a wall. They can be hanged maybe with some of the strings, ropes, or they can be maybe pasted on a wall or pinned on maybe on some of the board. Okay, and what? This help. This the reason for the wall displays is to make learning interesting. Learners will also learn better because they can see the same thing over for the period of time, which make it easier to remember and understand. So it promotes a sense of ownership. So these are some of the ideas of the wall display. Make sure that when you're answering the questions, you need to include some of the things. Let's have a look. The picture should be selected to stimulate learners to ask questions or begin working. Make sure that those wall displays, they must be of at a level that they they are to be selected to stimulate learners to ask questions and begin working. Okay, the learners should make some displays themselves and put it up. Remember, learners need to take part, learner-centered approach. Yes, inclusivity. You need also to include learners into their own what education. You can display learners' class or homework as well. You can also display some of the learners' work. Yes. And then you can change your displays regularly according to the theme or the topic covered. You know the word displays that in a classroom setting, so the displays are placed or are pasted or are hanged on a wall um, at the place of that particular subject. For example, this side we have mathematics, RME, or Shikwanyama art that side. So make sure that you replace those posters or those objects that are under that specific subject according to the topic or the theme. For example, if you are teaching, so the theme or the topic is about planes, make sure that when you're going to teach about animals, make sure that you replace those plain pictures or the real planes objects and then put the one for animal. Group your whole display according to the subject, just what I said. When I include the rhyme, the songs, the pictures, a number chart, learners, art, and schoolwork or alphabetical charts, and many more. The interest corners. When I talk about the interest corners, those are the what? The wall display can be combined with display on tables of books or item of interest from the local environment. When the learners can spend time reading or discussing ideas in a learning corner, learners is better, learning is better and more fun. So interest corners can be reading corner, whereby maybe you put the magazines, said some of the certain books whereby learners uh, just go get access to those and maybe read when they have nothing to do. Okay, then we move to activities. Ensure that the activities are designed to build learning, existing knowledge. Begin with what learners know and then introduce a new information. Remember, you start from what? You start from the known to unknown, simple to complex. Yes. Ensure interesting and relevant activities for the learners. Try to make activities lively. Try to make the activities lively and use different types of materials and method. Remember, learners learn differently and we have different types of learning styles. You need to cater this into what? Into uh, learners learning different methods and different materials needed to be what? To be presented. Ensure that activities for learners are not too easy. Yes, the activities, they are not too easy or too difficult. Make sure that the activities are not too easy or too difficult. They are not too easy and they are not too difficult. They need to cater all what? All learners level or learners of what? Intellectual capacity or learning what? Capacity. Continuous assess continuous assessment. Continuously assess their achievement and interest and adjust your lessons accordingly. Yes, you need to do that. Avoid activities which are too long. If you make the activities too long, learners can get bored. Yes, make sure that the activities are not too long because uh, children have short um, attention span, and when they get bored, rather introduce a new activity based on work done, which is relevant to the topic. Then move to the routines. When talking about routines, this is what learners do and the teacher do each day. For example, what at the beginning of the year, establish classroom routines such as what learners should do when they get to their seats. What learners need to do when they get into their seats, how learners should ask to leave the room. Example, maybe learners need to raise their hands and then they ask for permission to go out, or when they want to say something, they need to rise and speak while they are standing. Those kind of things, we call them routines. Yes, routines. Establish what? Establish routines for responding to questions. When you're responding to questions, yes, this is just what I said. They should raise their hands, and should they stand when they speak? So yes, establish routines for materials. When they are in need of the materials, why should they need what or how to get them, how to retain them, and how to store them. Mhm. Assign roles to individuals. You need to assign roles to individuals, such as the class captains or the group leaders or classroom duties. And you need to do a to review the routines when necessary. Learners should always know who is responsible for what. And then you need to make sure that uh, all learners take part in this. Don't just make a group leader for the whole year. Change them, change them regularly. Then you move to number two, under classroom management, which is positive behavior of positive discipline. Positive discipline. So the teacher has the responsibility to guide the learners positively. So it's now your responsibility as a teacher to guide uh, your learners positively. So the working relationship between the learner and the teacher must be based on trust, not on fear. This is the most important thing. The learners must not do things because they fear about you, but they must do things because they trust you as uh, their teacher. Learners should what? No, not learner, but teachers should establish clear rules and guidelines. The clear rules and guidelines. Determine the class rules together with the learners on the first day of school, and then make sure that you replace or not replace that every year. You should make new rules because the rules, it's now up to you as a teacher and the learners to form up those rules. And then remember, every year you get new learners, so you need to do what? You need to make sure that at the every first day of school, you need to do what? You need to set this class room rules together with your learners, or let me just say with your new learners. Yeah. State the rules positively. Make sure that your rules are stated in a positively way. For example, tell learners what they can do instead of what they cannot do. Yes, rather than say, talk softly while others work, instead of do not talk loudly while others work. Make sure that your classroom rules are not on a negative side, but try to reinforce what in a positively way. They paste the rules in an obvious place in the classroom. You need to paste what the rules, classroom rules, in an obvious place in the classroom. So discipline problems should be handled fairly and consistently. And then when you are dealing with the positive discipline, you are talking about behaviors. How can you do this now? Make sure that always attack the problem behavior, but not the child. Do not attack the child, attack the problem itself. Always show respect for the child, even when he or she is behaving badly. You as a teacher, you need to do what? To show respect. You need to treat all learners equally. You need to treat all learners equally, and then make sure that you know your learners by their names. Warn a learner when she or he behaves badly, but at the same time, give a positive behavioral method in its place. Maybe, for example, if a learner is tripled another learner, she or he must apologize. Teach them how to apologize. Yes, teach them how to apologize maybe when they did something wrong. Um, upon others. Learners insist on bad behavior, logical consequences should follow them. The logical consequences that are related should be reasonable and respectful. Make sure that the consequences is also corresponding with the what with the rule may be disobeyed. If a learner is not finished his or her work in the class because he or she talked too much, he or she could stay in during break time to complete the work. Yes, do that, do that, do that. Encourage and praise good behavior. You need to encourage your learners to do good. You need to praise the learners who are doing good, learners who behave in an appropriate manner. Give them something. This can also encourage others to follow the good path of what of behaving in an appropriate manner. So the names of the learner who have behaved well can be pasted on a chart under the heading best of the bunch. Oh, I love this. You just have to design a poster. To design a poster, and then you write a heading best of bunch, and then the names under that, those will be the names of the learners who behaved well. And guess what? Learners, all learners, they can what? Every learner will like uh, they can also be encouraged not to do what, not to behave in a bad way, just for their names to be written in that poster. Yes, you can do that.